So ideally, in sports, you'd like everybody to get along. But we know that Belichick and Brady in 20 years never had dinner. Not once. Pat Riley, Magic, Kareem, Phil Jackson, Jerry West, Kobe, Shaq. Lot of talent, lot of egos. Weren't always tight. Yeah, that whole Phil Jackson, Jerry West, Kobe, Shaq thing, there's a reason it eventually moved in different directions. But they won. And Brady and Belichick won. Steph, Clay, Draymond, KD, best team in the league, 3-4 years. We know now they didn't get along. You watched the documentary with Michael Jordan, Jerry Krause, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen. Best basketball team I've ever seen. I mean, they had some fun playing cards and smoking cigars and winning games, but there was animosity and chaos, and ideally, you'd like to get along. But it's not necessary. The vice president often hates the president in our government. We've had those before. The vice president resents the president. Don't even need to mention names. It's not necessary. It's ideal. So the story is this morning, Brian Flores got fired because he could not get along with Chris Grier. Who cares? He won 8 of 9 with Tua. Who cares if they get along? Well, Brian Flores is very difficult. All right, let me address the very difficult thing. I did a little searching. It's called Google. You should try it. And there's a story back here from a couple of years ago that Brian Flores wanted Justin Herbert over Tua. Bigger, stronger, better arm, more mobile, no injury history. And Chris Grier wanted Tua. Yeah, I got news for you, folks. If I wanted Justin Herbert and you were my GM and drafted Tua and I had to watch Justin Herbert, I'd be bitter too. Folks, Bill Belichick was upset when he had to trade a backup, Jimmy Garoppolo. If I'm Brian Flores, I want Justin Herbert. You draft Tua. You've been the GM for years. You keep screwing up the coach and the roster. All I ask is get me the quarterback. You take the wrong one, and Brian Flores is the guy that's got to get along? I mean, Bill Parcells, one of the great coaches of all time. Never forget this line. And this is why I do think every GM I've ever talked to, and there's 4 or 5 in the league I talk to regularly, they do ask their coach, what do you want? Key spots. Who works? You ask the coach, especially if the coach you think is a star already or an ascending star, in this case, Brian Flores. Folks, you get one chance often in life for these NFL jobs. It's not like being an accountant or an actor. There are other roles. There are other accounting firms. Head coaching jobs, 32 in America. Best jobs in the world. Sometimes you get one chance. And I want you to think about this. The Chris Grier guy had been around for years. So Brian Flores arrives in Miami. And by the end of year 1, he already built the defense up. By the end of year 1, we were like, oh my God, their special teams are great. Remember that year? We're like, how are they winning all these games with Ryan Fitzpatrick and this little Tua guy? By the end of the first year, he got the defense right. His side of the ball. That's not always easy. Brandon Staley, Chargers. He's a defensive guy. Chargers defense got worse. I mean, Matt Nagy in Chicago, last couple years. Offensive guy. Offense got worse. It's not easy to do. So Brian Flores very early gets the defense right and tight. All he needs is pick the right quarterback and get a good O-line. Fix the O-line. It's a mess when I got here. Make it better. All these years later, they got the wrong quarterback and the O-line stinks. And you guys, I keep hearing this, Brian Flores, very, very hard to get along with. I think I'm a nice guy. If when the decision came down that I got a say in who to hire sitting next to me, Joy Taylor, and, you know, a lot of stuff she doesn't know, but I pushed for Joy, and she knows it now. But if they'd have given me some stiff, and I'm sitting here every day and she's just giving me hockey scores, I'd be better, and you wouldn't like me as much. Sometimes animosity is real, and it's okay. Now, I don't think you should ever hold grudges. That's chain-smoking hate. But all I keep hearing about is how difficult Brian Flores is. That's all he keeps firing this guy and getting rid of that guy. You mean that's what the GM's been doing there for over a decade? So I'm just here to tell you, if Justin Herbert was who you wanted, you fix the defense, you fix the special teams, and you chose Tua over him, and you expect Brian Flores to come in every day with donuts for the staff, rainbows, birds chirping, he got a chip on his shoulder. It's well earned. All right. Well earned. So I want to talk about this. They say all affairs, all physical affairs, start as emotional affairs. It's very interesting. Dan Graziano, football reporter, good guy. The Denver Broncos, have requested permission to interview Packers quarterback coach Luke Getsy for their head coaching opening. Also, along with Packers offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. Very smart. This is, of course, what the Lakers did before they had LeBron. Do you remember the year before LeBron showed up to L.A.? Do you remember what the Lakers did? Rich Paul is very tight, Clutch Sports, with LeBron. They're guys, they're boys, they're friends. And the year before LeBron got here, the Lakers opened up the cash register. Oh, that's $18 million sitting there. I think we're going to give it to KCP, who was represented by Clutch Sports. They just found it under the mattress. Oh, there's $18 million. Let's give all of it to LeBron's friend Chris Paul. That's what you do. It's the game, right? You see this all the time in college football. You hire this guy, this coach who knows that recruit from this program. We all understand this, right? I mean, Aaron, first of all, would look amazing in a Denver Bronco uniform. I think that goes without saying. The colors match his eyes. It's very perfect. But does everybody understand this? That if Jordan Love could play, and right now I'm not sure he can, I'm leaning on no, they would move him if he was 80% of Aaron. Why? Massive cap flexibility for the Packers. Aaron's dramatic. Sometimes that wears out the front office. And Aaron's older. And the perfect place to send him, if you were Green Bay and you could pick a place to send him, y'all get where it would be. It would be Denver. Not just the other conference, but he'd have to make his way through Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Derek Carr twice a year. So as great as Aaron is at 38, 39 years old, I got Mahomes twice a year. I got Herbert twice a year. I got Derek Carr twice a year. The chances of him dominating that division, getting a number one seed, playing at Lambeau, playing at Denver at home, ain't going to happen. I mean, we all know part of Brady's success has been the fact that he got a bye and played at home and only had to win one playoff game to get to the AFC Championship. So this is the perfect place to send Aaron, is Denver. It's the perfect place. You don't want to send Aaron to some lousy division where you send him to the NFC East and he shows up every year humiliating you for the next 6. So Aaron's 38. He's expensive. There's drama. He's amazing. If Jordan Love was 80% of him, the smart move. I mean, when Peyton Manning left Indy with Andrew Luck, that was an easy one because Peyton Manning was kind of beat up. He was still great, but they made a decision, the Colts did, and it was the right one at the time, is Andrew Luck right now is probably 75 to 80% of Peyton Manning. Young Andrew Luck is 75, 80% of Peyton Manning. He's cheap. He's healthier. Peyton, people inside the organization had said Peyton was so big, Jim Irsay felt like he was a co-owner of the franchise. And that's not a knock on Peyton Manning. Quarterbacks now are so rich, so powerful on so many commercials, they take over the franchise. And owners, frankly, even Green Bay's front office, it wears them out. So it's just very interesting what Denver's doing. This is really smart. This is what the Lakers did before LeBron. Just found $18 million under a mattress and decided to give all of it to KCP. Just, take care of peeps. Let them know how you feel about them. And there's a lot of messages sent out there in sports. This is a really smart one. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.